Morning, everybody. Morning. We're back Thursday morning. Let's get through some pre-market analysis. Hopefully, none of you got chopped up this morning. We were watching the market and that huge spike came in on absolute fluff, which to me is just showing how much this market is desperate to move up. All right, so let's get into this daily. What do we have? Well, so far, here's your Monday low, Tuesday low, Wednesday low, Thursday low. What are we doing? Walking price up right now. All right, what was the target? It was this right here, previous week high. We've delivered the target now. All right, we've delivered the target in pre-market, taking it out. So we need to be aware now, if this is all they wanted to do and they want to come back into range where we have higher time frame demand, they are definitely able to do that move. All right, if the target has met, if they don't want any more upside, then this here is nothing more than a healthy pullback for continuation, especially when you think about something like this. All right, it has plenty of room to come back if it wants to and still remain bullish higher time frame. So that's the first thing I'd be aware of. One, that we've taken liquidity. Two, that there is room for a pullback. If we're going to continue on a tear upside, all right, then we want to come up into these levels here, 120. Now you'll notice, because we've consolidated for so long, the Bollinger Band is actually starting to point down, all right? And we're going to get to a point where if we don't break out and push out soon and turn this back upside, we are going to get a point here where the 5-day, 20-day and Bollinger Band get very tight. And this is when we start to get squeezes, and it does not have to be an upside squeeze. If we get too tight without a breakout for bulls, we come and search. And by that point, I'd imagine this Bollinger Band is somewhere up here. You can see it's starting to trend up the low one fairly aggressively right now. So that's something we can deal with next week once we see if we do or do not get a breakout. Why is that not changing? Get rid of this. Okay, so watching this lower Bollinger Band, seeing if we start to get some tightening. All right, if we get something like this over the next few sessions, all right, this is going to get very tight, and then we're going to get one of these, and it'll either have to pick a direction. Okay, so that's daily. Let's look into some more clues from the hourly charts, because right now I'm starting to think we're having a bit of a failed breakout. Okay, hourly, focus on this chart down here with me. You can see hourly trend, we're just in a channel. We're in a bullish consolidation. We had a big bullish move out. Okay, here's your breakout. We've never revisited this RBS, so this is still a fresh level. Okay, and then once we've gone out, we've gone into a grind and a wash and a grind and a wash and grind and grind and grind. And there's the drive in Globex to take out the highs. And there's the wash to take out the lows. And there's the spike to take out previous week close. And now we're back in range. All right, so we're in a bullish range, which is grinding higher right now. It is simple as that. As soon as we took out these Wednesday highs here, we swept liquidity. We've then taken out the lows of that session, sweeping liquidity, and then previous week closes up here, and we've taken that out and come back inside. So what is this telling you? Market is just hunting right now. The market is hunting stops right now. So you better be careful today with your entry and your position sizing, because we are in a range. It is an upward slanting range in the NQ. It is just a sideways range in the ES, and we are potentially fail breakout, potentially fail breakout. I want to try and play extremes today. I really do not want to play in here. All right, we've seen in here choppy action over and over again. I really don't want to play in there. So the easiest move will be if we push and hold and we go for this high and we get acceptance above. If this is a failure, all right, and a morning drive fails in here and we come back into the range, we might chop around a little bit before either having another attempt or finally making this move back down. All right, this is something I will entertain. This will be a counter trend short if the higher time frame requires a deeper pullback. Remember, we've not come and tested this, and we have liquidity sat here. So if it wants to get stuck here to here, that's one trade. Here to here is another trade, and then back up, more than probable. Can see it even better here on a 30-minute chart. All right, We got Globex Asia session sideways, London expansion through previous day highs into New York, failed, took out both levels of Globex lows and London high and back into range. Right, this should be setting a few alarm bells off for you right now. If we're going to hunt that much over nothing, this move here, this 150 point move here, was on the huge, massive news that Trump's having a phone call with China. All right, that's how sensitive this market is right now. Not that the phone call is positive, not that tariffs have been settled, that we're having a phone call. All right, so just be aware how sensitive this market is to anything over tariff. These news algos are hunting tariff news. As soon as they see something, they're risk on or risk off. We cannot react as quick as these news algos, so you've got to be careful. All right, what I would say is this 30-minute chart gone sideways is trying to hold above some of these pivots here right now. All right, if this is the breakout, or don't do that. If this is the breakout move, this is the retest. If we hold this, there is a chance to go back upside. Failing here, we come and explore bottom side of the range. Then we can trade back upside from the bottom side of the range if it wants, or we get failures to go lower. All of these things are possible because we're in a range. All right, because we are in a range, you must respect it. Again, Globex, previous day high, previous week high. This liquidity has been taken. Remember, this was our target yesterday. We've taken it now. So really, my target for the week has been achieved. So I want to be cautious now. If we keep finding bids here, maybe we can trade upside. But I want to be cautious. You are buying the top side of the range on the week and the previous week. It's very, very dangerous to do that right now. One thing I want to go over is the ES. I'm just going to move this into a 5-minute chart. And let's just take the flow zones off. Okay, first of all, we've taken out previous day high, previous week high as well. So same thing achieved on the ES. What do we have here? This is a sideways range. Right, that's all this is here. It is a range. We have swept a certain degree of liquidity here. Right, this morning we swept these lows, we left this one intact, and we swept the highs. All right, so it's hard. Even with Wyckoff theory, are we thinking this is a spring, but we left this low intact? I don't really like that. Is this a spring? In which case we're coming down here. I don't know. I lack edge in this market right now. What I do know is that we've taken all the key liquidity and we are not holding a bid above these highs. All right, we will need to hold a bid above these highs. You would have wanted to see this happen, and ideally not in pre-market. All right, ideally not in pre-market. So we have to respect this. Okay, inside this, chop. Outside of it, breakouts or fail breakouts. If we hold above here, potentially breakout. If we get above and fail, potentially back into range. If we get below here, potentially continuation, or potentially fail breakout back into range and we explore upside. Again, all of these things are possible because of looking left, what the price action is telling us. We are not doing this right now. All right, if we start failing here and get to here, you need to be aware of this rotation. Let's have a quick look at the mag. How are we doing for time? Desperate for a coffee here. All right. Apple gapping up. Starting to see a bit of one of these. Breaking here can lead to higher prices on Apple, potentially. That's what Apple's trying to do. Microsoft. I mean, bullish range, bullish consolidation above here. More chop here. It's explored higher. It's come back into chop. So very similar to the Qs. Upward channel. If we start breaking down and getting rejections, there's lots of liquidity for it to clean up. But it's bullish consolidation until it proves otherwise. Amazon, nice clean breakout. Nice consolidation breakout. This is the strongest stock I've looked at so far this morning. Potential continuation. If it starts letting go of 209s, I'd be more concerned of it cleaning up this liquidity to 205. But so far, bullish consolidation on Amazon. So that's relative strength. Goog, nice recovery. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? There's your trend. There's the sideways tapering. There's the push, pull, and exploring upside now. So I would say Goog's trying to get to 173.50s first stop. If it can continue high, it can afford a pullback before it gets there. For anyone trading Google. Meta, oh, what a chart. All right, just giant flag, breakout, and channel and trend. All right, looks good. Again, this can afford a big, deep pullback. This can afford a pullback all the way back to here in Meta and still be bullish. Just be aware of that. It's very much like the NQ. Nvidia. Well, chips had some positive news this morning, especially Nvidia. Its Chinese competitor not having a good impact was the news this morning. This is range in here for the last few sessions. So breaks below and holds below, we come and revisit 38. Break above and hold above, we have squeeze potential. We'd have to look left for a move to 43. Through that, you're probably looking at 50s. Otherwise, just chop and fail breakouts inside that range on Nvidia. Tesla, the weak one, remains weak. All right, they don't like what they see here. It had the chance to break up. It stole the liquidity, turned down. There's your lower high. There is your head and shoulders. There's the crack, and that was yesterday and today's continuation. See where we might find a bid here. Down into basically, oh, that's not Tesla. Give me Tesla back. Basically into 95s. Yeah, 305 to 95. Can drift into here. We can think about this. If it doesn't hold a bid here, you've got the 61, and then you've got RBS down there. So really, a very, very mixed bag here this morning across the markets. Very mixed bag. The last thing to look at will be the VIX. Just get this set back up. Here we are. All right, VIX finding a bid off high time frame demand. All right, into high time frame demand down here. You have sort of some channel and liquidity across here. If we're going to hold this and trend sideways, market trends sideways. If we start exploring this move here, market trends lower. If VIX makes a new low of day and trends down into the low teens, market will start to pump towards those all-time highs. All right, that's what you've got on the VIX, but you need to be aware of this. There's the breakdown. There's the crack. All right, this is a steep trend. There's some tapering. There's some more tapering. That is potentially a spring, very much like the move we saw this morning on ES and NQ. So too early to say right now, but just be aware of where we are at with these markets. Right, I am bullish. I'm very aware that we just broke out of a channel and have come straight back into the range. Right, so the higher time frame is wanting to explore upside, but you are near or at the highs of the last 2 weeks. All right, which means you're at, let's just figure that out as well. It means you're at the high of May, all right, and the high of June, because we're in June. All right, and it's a big drive. Right, that's a big drive up to be met with a 100-point sell order back down. Having a look on the book. All right, we have this seller up at 900. These are institutions, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to flick over in a minute. 900, 975. If we look at just the normal order book, 835, 900, so he is a normal seller. No one at 35, but there is at 75. So this is the algo. That's the main liquidity provider up there at 975. So we'll see if he's still on the book in a bit. So yeah, watching 935, 835, 900s. Same levels, 835, 900s, and through that, 75s. Downside, not much liquidity right now. So all the liquidity is upside really on the book at the moment for ES. They just lifted these orders at 6,000. You're going to see some market orders try and push here. You've got that sort of little heat spot here. You can see 162, 117 lot in front of 10. And then above that, all the way up at 50s. All right, so again, orders are up higher. Market wants to search up higher right now. We need to respect that. I think we're clear with news, right? I think we are clear with news. Let me just triple check that. Do not be surprised if you get comments from Trump today as well on tariffs after what's happened this morning. Let's have a look. Thursday. Kugler at lunch. I'll be gone by then. So yeah, we should be clear. News-wise, we should be clear. Market now open. Gosh, that took a little longer than would have liked. All right, market open, folks. Sorry, about 1 minute late. I'm going to get through some good mornings here. I'm not in a rush to trade this. Morning, everybody. Good morning, Miguel, Clint, Jesse, ERF, Ramus, Jeff, Darley, Willa Williams, Marek, Christy, Drown, Firewater, Brandon, Tim V, Darren. There's Javier wanting to know, does anyone trade with me in a profitable? Hilarious. Morning, Thumper, Steve C, Knight Williams, Ken, Trentry, Eva, Toby, Raphael, AJ, Kat, Peter, Array, Bart, Minix, Indicator, Richard, Greg, Vincent. Good morning, everyone. All right, so morning drive, sold into, out the gate. Remember, we've had a failed breakout so far of the range. I'm watching ES the same thing. ES is not finding a bid above previous day high right now. I really need to go and get my coffee from next door. All right, so I'd be very, very aware about a rotation lower today. If they're going to do the move, today is going to be the chance for bears to come in and do a rotation lower, I would say. Morning drive getting sold into. Let me just grab a coffee and come back. There we go, folks. I'm alive once I have a coffee. All right, so far, new supply level created above after sweeping. We're trading sideways. We can explore these value area lows and Globex lows, which we've already swept. If we start failing heavy under those, all right, then we can think about previous day low at 640s. If we fail that, we're looking for that move to 550s. I'm expecting bids to come in somewhere down there. Remember, any short today is counter trend. If they're going to just bid this market up, then you'd expect them to protect all of those levels. All right, what I don't want to do is trade where we're at now, because if we just think about looking sideways, all right, and trying to avoid sort of where we're at now, unless we can hold this clearly and produce a very clear high low. But this, all of this in here, I don't want to get stuck in, all of this in here. So if we protect this level and we can show an impetus to go higher, I'm interested. I don't really want to trade in here, but if we start breaking down, I'm also interested. All right, everything else, I'm trying to sort of avoid this market's tendency to go into chop zones at the moment. Trying to avoid all that, save myself the mental capital this morning. VIX having a big drive out here this morning as well. Let's see what we get. There's your New York Open. So far rejecting New York Open, trapped into value area high and VWAP. Once we move away from here, I'll set a new anchored VWAP as well. Let's make this a bit bigger for you guys. There we go. Little readout on the market then. Tesla, 3.75% down. Nvidia, approaching 0.25% down. Meta, 1/3% up. Google, 1.42% up. Amazon, 1.83% up. Microsoft, 1/3% up. Apple, 1/3% up. So a bit of a mixed bag. Google, the weak one today in the market. Just back to VWAP right now. These sort of 800s and New York Open seem to be key. It's a sort of over-under. Just going to let this settle down. Not in a rush. We can think about that opening 15-minute bar, opening range, see if we get some sort of direction after that. What I would say is ES is rejecting previous day high, is underneath its VWAP, is starting to trade lower back down to PDC right now. All right, so it's already closed its gap into PDC. Does it find a bid here or does it start to sell through it? We have got relative strength in the NQs. RIP Tesla. Yeah, that thing's getting smoked. It is getting smoked. It will catch a bid at some point. It always does. So to those algos and VWAP. Again, we're just into that sort of choppy range. Not really looking to execute this range. Want to see how we act. Maybe on a new bar, maybe on 15 minutes before it. Just being patient today. It requires patience, this market. I think that news this morning was, for me, was a whole lot of nothing. So I'm not going to sort of pay too much attention to it. And because it was nothing, the algos ripped it up, swept our target for the week, which was previous week high. And we've now traded back inside. So I need to be cautious, need to respect that. Morning, Lyndall. There is a seller up at above 25s here, 925s. Everything else kind of dissipated for now. Requires patience here, folks. Not done anything this morning. We're not doing anything right now. We're in a, I don't know, 80-point range. So here comes some selling here. Yes, looks like it wants to explore down towards previous day low. SPY into its PDC right now. So if they don't catch bids here, you would expect ES will go to previous day low. Same thing here on the Qs. Yellow line is your PDC. Green line is a lot lower right now. We are into the middle of the chop range. This is not going to be easy to trade here, but if we start to snap that channel, especially those in Discord, H1 channel, if we start to break down under that, there might be a counter trend short. Remember, shorts will be counter trend. They will not be pro trend. So here's PDC. Do they start letting go of this now for that move lower, or do they just keep absorbing on settlement? There is a buyer at 745. So here you go. So they're letting go now. How much lower do they trade this? Do we go down to previous day low and Globex at this point? Globex is 23s. ES already swept previous day low there. So you've got divergence there already this morning on the tape. VIX starting to break out here, 1783s. I expect this will want to move lower. So looking to join this if it will let me. If we get a push up which starts to fail, I will be interested. Like maybe if they protect PDC or VWAP and build out some form of bear flag there, I'm interested in a trade back down towards these levels. I want to be careful because we're in chop zone. I keep looking at that H1. I'm just like, this is gross. Just make sure you keep referring back to higher time frame. Look where we are right now. If they want to catch a bid here, it's good. So want to be careful. If they push up, fail, and do this move here, this will be an easier trade down to here and under there. That will be an easier trade or an easier trade. This range here is very, very tricky. I want to warn you that now. We're there Tuesday, we were there Wednesday, we're there Thursday. It is not easy playing inside this range here. Be very, very careful. So like I was saying, I will need to see this push up and fail. Otherwise, I'm not interested in the short. And especially ES just swept the liquidity. It took out previous day low there. Again, why would we move higher here? Well, if we catch shorts down here who enter at the lows. So that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting to see if we fail into view up and form out some form of continuation trade, bear flag, etc., lower time frame. But I'm very aware. Keep looking at H1 thinking, oh, Alex, do you really want to trade this right now? Do you really want to trade inside that right now? How did the algos know about the news like that? They literally turned on to listen for news. That's why even when you get things like FOMC, they're programmed to listen for news and trade accordingly. So you'll never beat one of those algos that are so quick. And they create and know the liquidity. All right, so reclaiming view up here. Again, no short position here for me. Not interested. Yes, trading into PDC. There is a chance the market might want to search lower on the NQ, but we have divergence versus the ES, which has already swept and taken out previous day low, so making it extra tricky. VIX is trying to build a flag to get through 18s, really, is the level it needs to get up to. It's attempting to build it to get up there. You have headline exposure here as well, remember, folks. This is looking a little bit better here. I'm still not convinced because we're inside that range. I'm wondering if I should just not trade any of this and just be very patient today and wait for us to break outside of all ranges. Let's see if I can get our chart up here. There we go. All right, yes, back to previous day low. Is it going to get acceptance underneath previous day low here? There's a demand here at 970s on the ES. We have major divergence. Remember, our previous day low is all the way down here on NQ. All right, so you have major, major, major divergence right now on the tape. Tesla almost 5% down now. How did yesterday go? I was right yesterday. I'm not sure if we took one more trade or not after you left Bowden. Can't remember. Genuinely can't remember. It was a very choppy day, though. Yes, previous day low here. NQ just in no man's land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, sorry, 5 of the Mag 7 green. Nvidia trying to go red to green right now. Tesla the weak one in the market. Yes, protecting previous day lows so far. Yes. Yes, indeed. Chop, chop, chop. It's the market right now. Well, we're waiting for something. We're waiting for something. You've got to think on the dailies and the 4 hour and the hourlies. All we've done is price up for months now. Since April, May into June, we've priced up off what? Off a pause. It's kind of wild when you put it like that, but that's what we've done. We've priced up off a pause. So we're waiting now. What could get us out of this? Well, maybe a rate cut. Remember the end of last year, beginning of this year, we were thinking about 100 to 125 point rate cut. Now, with that inflation data and with the recessionary kind of measures starting to sort of peek their head, even that print yesterday and this morning. Fed unwilling to cut. If we don't cut, then maybe we go risk off, especially once they get their profit taking. ES now coming back down to previous day low. Again, it cannot break through previous day low and hold a print underneath right now on the ES. So we have some prints yesterday, even on the SPY into 95s. This looks like it wants to sell. It's just, does NQ want to join it right now? This is the continuation trade you're starting to get. I'm interested in this. I'm just very, very careful here because we're in range. Are we going to start snapping here? I'm in this small size. Didn't take profit there. Probably should have taken some profit there. Looking for a rotation lower at this point. Versus the orb. Oh my God, this is a beauty. In this now. Looking for previous day low. Moving my stop in the money. Oh my God, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's keep selling. Taking some partial here into 12s just in case we're going to take this liquidity. Looking left. Okay, and turn back up. That is probably me done for the day, folks. I absolutely smacked that once we started selling through here, adding into the winner. In a range rotation day, I will take that. I'm about needed a win like that for a while. It's my first 5-figure trade for about 2 or 3 months. And if this keeps going, it would be good. Probably for about 2 months. Like I said, if we start rotating, ES now getting acceptance underneath its old demand, coming into the 5-day moving average on the ES. If we start rotating, we can go down to 957 on the ES. There is not much liquidity above right now on the NQ. Most of the liquidity has moved beneath. It's searching for this liquidity down beneath right now. We can see it probably a little bit better here. Here, 700s. It's searching for 700s right now and all the way down into 690s. I expect more liquidity will come in the book once we start breaking it. Let's go, baby. There's the 700. So looking to fill those orders. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. I'm going to be one and done today. I tell you that right now. There's a higher time frame algo tag. Peeling a little bit more off there. I'm down to tiny size now. Looking to see if we're really going to melt down into here. Oh. Yes. Let's go. A nice early day. I can relax. I love it. This is the type of market I want every day with some follow through. Here we go. Continuation. Just be careful here. We're starting to get stuck here at the higher time frame algo. I still think we trade lower here. There's liquidity on the book at 680. Your previous day low is still down at 640. Please keep melting here. Please get melting here. Make sure you're taking partials. You do not want any reclaim of value area low and the orb here. So any reclaim of 23 and 36, I'd be sort of getting out, and then we can reevaluate it as a new trade. You are seeing protection here of the 5-day moving average on the ES right now. Look at the VIX, all right? What was the confluence when we talked about if the VIX can break out and trade towards 18s? I want you guys to understand how useful the VIX is when you're looking for confluence. No, that's the futures VIX. Give me the normal one. All right, absolute ripper. We talked about it this morning. If this is the spring, that is the consolidation. There is the target, previous day high. That is your short signal on the market. All right, all in the course, folks. It's all in the course. All right. So if they don't reject this now and start reclaiming, your runners should be gone. Job done. I'm out of this now as we trade back into the opening range. I can always think about a new trade, but honestly, that is what I wanted today. Liquidity's been taken on the ES. Unless we're going to stay heavy, I'm trying to respect what we're doing here on the higher time frame charts right now. All right, we've just swept all the lows in this level. All right, so the next level down would be down here if it really wants to come. And to do that, I'm probably going to need a close and a push up and fail on the next hour. If we don't get that, then what I'm trying to do is respect where we broke out from, which was here. All right, this was the fail breakdown, broke out, held that level, push up, fail breakout, came back down. It's range rotation trading, so I'm trying to lock in money when it's there right now. Hopefully that will make sense. All right, reclaim. So if this wants to squeeze all the way back up, it can. Absolutely can. Your key here will be previous day low on the ES, which is what it's trading into. So again, relative strength on the NQ. ES trading back. ES has gone underneath previous day low. Notice how we held the higher time frame algorithm. All right, so we let go of flow zones and we traded down to the higher time frame algorithm. We're bouncing back up to flow zones now. The weakness on the ES, very, very clear. There is your fail breakout above the 6,000s. We talked about it yesterday. It got stuck back under it this morning. It starts to rotate. There's your sell signal. There's your previous day low. There's Globex. Now, ES is a much nicer trader again. If it rejects previous day low, which is your green line right here, then we trade lower right now, which is what you're starting to see ES attempt to do. It is attempting to reject previous day low. The question is, does NQ want to follow it? So where will shorts get stuck? Well, here's previous day low. If you get rejection, you get a continuation trade. Shorts will get stuck if we fail to break down. If you fail to break down, you get this move here. All right, but so far it looks great. So if you're trading ES, you look good versus previous day low. Much better trader than NQ in terms of positioning. Much easier read right now. How many times am I going to say that before I eventually move over to that? Oh, come on. Don't do me dirty. There we go. All right. Oh my God, look who's back. Look who's back. He must be in Montana logging in. Foster Scott. How you doing, buddy? I was hoping I would have got a coffee with you yesterday. I'm sorry that Los Angeles traffic absolutely wrecked you. I'm sorry, my friend. I hope you're doing well. We miss you, dude. We miss having you around in the room. I hope life is good. All right, so continuation. Unfortunately, my trigger was to trigger out here because of the orb, but all we've done is reprice this. Continuation lower. ES about to break lower day. ES, the weaker asset today. It's probably the easiest short right now is the ES. Bart says, great trade, Alex. I was on the trade with you. Lovely. Yeah, how many of you took that with me? It's one of those where it was a late entry. We kept saying if it rejects VWAP, if it rejects this, there's a chance. I joined in this candle down and added to my winner on the way down before covering. It's just a momentum trade. It's a see money, take money trade. That's all it is. Andrew got it. Christy got it. Array got it. Dre, the trader, got it. Glenn Stevenson got it. Minix got it. I mean, maybe some of you who are trading ES, you might still be holding some. Coop got it. Nice work. Big W, Glenn, lovely. Happened too fast to me. Yeah, it was very, very quick, Brandon. It was. Alan got it. Late, but took the retest for a W. Nice work. So what I'd say here is your shorts now are failing to break the low. You do not want any pivot above here if you're in this. You want shorts to protect this for a rotation lower. The ES, again, did not break the low. It's still protecting the 5 there. Be very, very cautious here. This right here, if they start trading above this, this is where you get this counter trend squeeze. But right now, this is the channel for the session. I can draw that out for you a bit cleaner. We're protecting this. You must protect this high here for that move low. Break this, then we'll probably go previous day low. These aren't always easy, folks. The reason this was not an easy trade, right, for some of you, like, I don't get it, like that was very quick. It's because you've got to look left. When we look left right now in this chart, all right, we can see we're into a choppy zone. This is what the market's doing right now. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, fail, breakout underneath. So I was just looking for a rotation into here. So I joined some momentum when it came downside and I covered into these. I was hoping we'd get down here with a runner. We didn't do it because we're in bullish range. This is a counter trend. We talked today, any short will remain counter trend. I would not say we're in a pro trend short. Really, I mean, until under 550s and technically underneath 400. All right, it's a long way away for a pro trend short. Everything in before that, based on like the daily and the hourly and 4 hours, any short before that is a counter trend short. The counter trend can last all day today. All right, try and get that into your head. You're probably thinking, what do you mean? The counter trend can last all day today, because if we think about a daily, and those who've done the course, if we have divergence right here yesterday, and I'll show you that on ES. If this is the failed breakout and we turn inside back down to here, this candle today can leave a long wick, if it wants, doesn't have to do this, and a big body down to here. Okay, and then we'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, closing lower, and Friday can bid back up or can just chop sideways at that point. It's definitely possible. It's still very bullish. Holding this range here, a pullback can be afforded, can't it? If we think about this, resistance, 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 support. A trade back into support can absolutely happen. This can be a bearish move down and a bullish move continuation, right? So understanding high time frame is really important. That's why I take my profits very quickly when we're counter trend. This is looking good now. That is a dirty little sweep above that high right now, but we didn't close above it. So this is still potentially, you will need the bears to have a continuation underneath these stops here. Failing to do that would be a problem. ES is already breaking down. So again, ES is the weaker asset. It's probably the easier short this morning. Not in Montana. Oh, over in San Bernardino getting loaded. Have 20 mins. Thought I'd pop in there. Well, it's nice to see that name, buddy. I've never been Montana. I've got a friend there. He used to live here. He used to live in Venice, and he says he has to carry a gun everywhere because of all the bears. Which is, for an Englishman from London, that's kind of mad for me to think about. Having to carry a gun, not because of utes with knives, but because of bears. All right, ES breaking down. NQ wants to go with it. It's just, has it got the juice? Oh, lovely work. Lovely work, Coop. Looks good. Here's your 5-day. Here's your 5-day on ES. NQ's trying to follow, so you might get continuation here. Remember, if we continue here, your target is previous day low. All right? If we continue here, your target is for this to break. If they break these lows here, I think you'll get a move into previous day low. ES is right into its 5-day, though. Just be aware of that. But if we break these lows, these current lows of days, I think there is a chance to move into previous day low. I'm tempted to like take these off, copy, and trade one account by itself. Maybe I'll do that. Oh, do I want to do that and do payouts again? Do I want to do that? Maybe not. Must be due 10 payouts again. I'm going on holiday next week. Maybe I'll take the payout because I'll probably need that given the price of everything in Ibiza right now. Okay, so you got divergence here. ES breaking the lows into its 5-day, into its next demand box. NQ not breaking down yet. Market starting to go red. Look at Tesla, 5.60% down. Nvidia, 0.81% down. Meta, 0.18% down. Apple, 0.65% down. Google, relative strength, 1% up. Amazon, relative strength, 0.71% up. Microsoft, 0.20% up. That 5-day coming in very, very key here for ES. It cannot break below it. They are protecting the 5-day moving average. VIX now 1816. All right, through previous day high, it's trying to get going. If we get acceptance through here, then I think VIX has got a chance to move to sort of 1845, 1850. Is that guy that you're talking about the same guy that people that attacked me, Coop, when we very first started the room, and you're like, don't worry about them? Is that the same people? All right, so failing to break the lows there on the NQ. What a scumbag. Yeah, you said it same time as me. What a scumbag. Couldn't believe that. Start a community for free, don't even know a guy, and get completely attacked. Merrick, yeah, golden zone, 61 to 786. I'm risk off right now. I'm just letting this build out because we're just going sideways with some choppy action here. And if they're going to trigger a squeeze up, they can absolutely do so. If they want to protect that 5-day, they can absolutely do so. I keep just looking at this hourly. Remember, we're into a new hour. Like we said, this hour might want to trade all the way back up to sort of 760s. If it finds a sell there, there's potential to come down. If it cannot find a sell there, then all we've done is dig in to a level of demand to trade back upside, and we are in choppy zone. We are in very, very choppy territory right now. We're trading back towards this 21 on the hour. So I'm kind of interested how we act sort of from 50s up to 65. 65s because it's an S&R level for me. This is a clear level for me and an old point of control. So how we act there, where's VWAP as well? Just as I also got PDC there. So yeah, everything there right now into 65s. It might be that failing higher tariff from Malmo could trigger a different kind of play of what market makers want. Yeah, potentially. Thanks for saying that was the 5-day. I missed that and took all but one off when I realized. Yeah, big protection there so far. It might still trend lower, Coop, but it's definitely protecting it. It dug right into it to the tick. I'll just pull this screen over. Right into it to the tick on ES, protecting the 5-day. SPY's got a little bit of room to get to the 5-day, but ES is protecting it. It's just got to build liquidity out here either way. Market, the book looks a little bit thin. Keep zooming out, looking for those bigger orders. I mean, at 900, there's a 37 lot. Let me go to the... some sellers up at 55 and 60, which is where I was saying that needs to be a rejection point if it trades that high. A big seller up at 850, a big 81 lot, and a bit of selling up at 900. But I would say 55s and 60s up into this level will need to reject for any potential continuation lower today. Any acceptance back above here, then we're going upside, I would say. Yeah, exactly. Take care, Scott. We'll talk soon, buddy. We'll talk soon. But drive safe, my friend. VIX holding its bid above 18s right now. It is holding a bid above 18s right now on the VIX. Alex, on Bookmap, what data feed are you using? Just whatever they provide. The CME data feed, Bookmap. What do they call it? BMD, Bookmap data. BMD. It's a bit annoying, really, that I have to pay for it when I pay for it with TradingView as well. It would be nice if you could just pay for a data feed and plug it in. Maybe you can do that, and I'm just stupid and don't know how to do it. It's also possible. Yeah, if you're trading just futures on Bookmap, you just need the CME. That's all you need. Well, that for RTY and QES YM anyway. If you're trading like the metals and stuff, you'll need COMEX. All depends what you're trading. If you're trading stocks, I think they might give you some for free. They definitely used to. Back in the old think or swim days, you used to get ES for free and some stock and the Mag 7 basically. Back then, Mag 5 for free. And they changed all that. I think they got bought recently as well, but Matt. All right, so they're starting to trigger this upside move. They're trying to start pushing this market up. No acceptance. Lower right now, you can see no acceptance underneath value area low. No acceptance protecting higher time frame algo. Never came and took out previous day low. Right now, this is your inside bar, right? Previous day high, previous day low. We are still inside. We expect chop outside of this. Maybe we get expansion. We've already had a failed break up here this morning, but maybe this is possible later in the day if they build enough. The problem with that move right now is that ES is not showing a willingness to do it. And the problem with breaking down is NQ is not showing a willingness to do it. So you have complete divergence between the two. You're going to need to be patient. We have just traded up to that level I talked about though. 55s to 60s, all right, right here. This transition right here into 65s, point of control, 21 EMA. They might find some sellers here. If they're going to look for continuation, it probably needs to be in and around here. Structurally, I like it less and less and less on the lower time frame, but if we see something that looks like this, if you're going to let me draw it, then we can think about a breakdown to here. All right, if they're going higher just to back test on the hourly to come lower, we can think about it. The thing is, Merrick, no one's trading Nvidia. you're clutching for people to praise you, but no one here's trading Nvidia, my friend. We're all trading the futures. But if you've made a good read, well done. But literally no one's trading it, and it's moved all of 40 or 50 cents off the lows, and it's just been sold into. So I'd hold that pat for yourself. Yeah, exactly, Coop. It's the same as that. There's that guy on YouTube who's always like, "I told you we were going to do this, and I told you we were going to do this, and I told you." With the stock market, he deletes his comments because he tells you every fucking possibility. Of course, one of those is going to work out. Well done. Thank you for telling me every scenario. What's his name? Ron someone? All right, so you're seeing that rejection there on the NQ. It's still holding lower time frame bullish structure, higher time frame in a range. The H1 is showing potential rejection like we just talked about into this level. This is why H1 is really clutch for me. H1 trades back up to this old support, which becomes resistance. That we have a chance to trade lower here. The better trade will be sort of as it builds out later in the day. It will get a little bit easier. Starting to perform or form that potential bear flag. Coop, you still in your ES in your runner? Or did you cut that on that last drive? It's 50-50 here. Do they do that inverse head and shoulders on ES, or are they going to let that 5-day go? Still liquidity on the book at 700. There's a chance that this wants to move to 700. I keep looking at it like it wants to get down there if it can. It does want to get down there if it can. Here's the bear flag. Are they going to break here? Big levels here. Are they going to break here? Looks like they want to break here. I'm very tempted. I was about to say I'm going to take it. I'm very tempted here. But I don't want to enter the low here on the bear flag. But it's looking like they're looking for that move sub 700 right now. There you go. 707s. They're going to look for 700 break, and then they're going to look for previous day low. If they let go of this, if they don't protect that low, you're going for previous day low. Those are your targets. If they protect that low, you need to be very, very cautious. ES trading back into its 5-day again. These are big, higher time frame levels, folks. The institutions, they care about these 5-day and 20-day and 200-day moving averages. I'm going to get a refill on that coffee here, folks. Do me a favor, smash that like button. We're 1 for 1 today on the stream. We'll wait to see if something else develops. I would lean bearish on this right now until it proves otherwise. Basically, we're in a range, so you're looking for bearish rotation. I would cut all bearish thoughts once we get over 21,765. At that point, I think bears are probably trapped at the lows. So you're looking for see money, take money scenario for a move back towards previous day low. And if we basically break above VWAP, no good. Every day, my back appreciated that, that's for sure. All right, still choppy. Lower time frame, building out some chop. Higher time frame, we're into chop. Still think there's a chance for this to move lower. Momentum for the day is downside. What you want to be careful of is the tapering here. This is what I'm saying. Above this and hold, then I'd be thinking about bullish rotation higher. Until that point, I'll be thinking about the chance for this to move lower. And that's not just based on that lower time frame, is based on this right here. If we're going to break down, if this is the failed breakout, boom, 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 big squeeze, lower high, if we're going to get stuck here, there's a very obvious target down here. The double bottom down here. So if we can produce one of these, it's possible. If we get acceptance back above here, then we go back upside because we are just still in this channel. Tricky markets when we act like this, folks. You would have seen me get very frustrated on stream a few days this week. I've had to seriously have a hard look at myself and try and calm down. And just know that it's going to be hard. All the time we're in range and we're rotating and it's trapping, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be smooth, easy, clean plays. ES got so much liquidity lower to aim for. 560, 550, 960, 957, 955, 952, 950. All on the tape looking to get filled lower. This wants to break down. It definitely wants to break down. Tesla red, Nvidia red, Meta red, Apple red. Microsoft not too far away. VIX holding its gains above 18. Break of 1820 will lead it up to 1840, 1860. So again, I'd be leaning downside, but you have a lack of confluence here. So you have to wait, just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. 21,634, 21,607, 21,634. Yes, yes, there is. Underneath those lows, absolutely. Technically, all right, technically, if you're looking at H1, it's 652 down to 606, and we've tapped into it twice. Yeah, Tim? So if you look at that Tuesday candle, it was between the 9 and 11. So the 10 o'clock candle, New York time Tuesday, that's what you're looking at. That's where we've traded into twice on hourlies. Twice we've come into there with wicks on hourly candles. And what I'm saying is if we break below today and start to trade, we can probably take those wicks out and then find a bid either where you're talking about, or it can afford to come all the way down to 550s if it wants to. It doesn't need to, but it can afford to do that. Remember, like, higher time frame traders are the ones in control. They're looking to take profits as we break major levels. So this morning we broke previous week high. There's obviously, if you're a higher time frame trader, if you bought Monday, you're trying to trade up to Friday's high from last week, you've taken some profits this morning, right? So even if you haven't taken it all, you've opened the book Monday morning into the market, long, take some profits into previous week high. We did that move this morning, so you're seeing drip down. No, you're doing great. You're doing great, Tim. Just trying to make you see that the imbalance doesn't move because we've tapped into it. It just means we've tapped into it twice already, which makes me think if we're going to snap those lows of 640 and 630s, 636s, then it might be that we go straight through that imbalance and we trade all the way back down to the RBS because we've already filled orders there twice. So it's not like a fresh level, right? It's not fresh because we've been in there twice. So if you think about how imbalances work, balances are big engulfing candles, right? Whether you're using fair value gap or you're using order flow, it's the same concept of we move away from a level very, very quickly. And that means market orders flood in and we move away. And passive orders who never get picked up, they're still there. So as the market comes back down, a passive order is a limit order. We come back down, we hit a big limit order, we move away from it, right? And what's happened here, we've come back down again. Limit order moved away from it. So now there's not many limit orders left down there on the book. They've been filled. So next time we move down there, there's a good chance that it move through it. Does that make sense? Passive orders are your limit orders. They're just sat there waiting to get picked. Those are very patient traders. Hopefully that makes sense anyway. We always talk about, in S&R, we always talk about fresh levels. They don't look at imbalances the same way. They don't actually look at imbalances at all, but they do look at what they call an engulfer, all right? And then they look at, they don't care about wicks. They're looking at open and closes, and they're looking at fresh levels. So if we tap an open and close or a big level once, after that second time, it's no longer fresh. Third time, they don't really care about it. And that would be what I'd be considering here. It'd be a third time trading into that level. There is a good chance there's not many people there anymore. Market's just completely cooled off here, isn't it? Still bearish, in my opinion. Morning, Arturo. We're still underneath that opening range on the NQ. We're still potentially building out the ability to move down. Here's your opening range. It's still building out the ability to move down here right now. The big question is ES going to snap its 5-day? That will probably give you this move. If you're looking for this bear flag, that is your opening range. This line right here that I'm coloring in, you want that to stay heavy. The H1 S&R was up here like we talked about, 55 to 65, where you'd want to see that reject. It did reject. This is setting up this move here right now. It's just, is there enough momentum in this to go lower? Because remember, the higher time frame, it wants to go higher. The harder trade is the lower move. Even though I think that move lower can come because it's just a pullback, it is a harder trade because higher time frame, they want to push up, right? So when you're trading lower, you're just looking for a pullback to go back up. Question is, how deep do they want this pullback to go? They might not want it to go all the way down there. They might be thinking, hey, we need to protect previous day low on the NQ. If we take previous day low out, it's going to be problematic for us to bid it back up. We don't know their games. We are tiny little minions, tiny little Nemo fish swimming behind big fat whales. All right. So this morning, big fat whales took some profit. We swam behind them. We got short, took some profit. Now we wait. Not every day will be clean all the time. All right. The best thing I can tell you to do is just look left on the higher time frame. Look at the hourly, look at the 30-minute, look at the 15-minute, look at the 5-minute. Don't get zoomed into the M1. Where are we? We're just in the middle of a ton of range that we've put in the last few days. But to me, it is potential that we're setting up a failed breakout day. Now, if this day closes red, tomorrow could be fantastic. If this day closes red, tomorrow could be fantastic. If it doesn't, we either close in range or we're looking for expansion. I don't mind either way. It's absolutely fine. So they're coming back up to those 55s to 65s, that H1 level. If they start reclaiming that, there is a chance to drive higher. ES unwilling to let go of the 5-day moving average. It's trading back towards previous day low here. Acceptance over previous day low. There's a good chance that we squeeze at this point. This is how nimble you have to be in this market. Because we're in range rotation, we're not in a trending market right now. We are in a range rotational market with divergence, I might add, just to make it extra hard. All right, and it's been like that for a while now. But I do think whether it does it today, tomorrow, next week, next month, we can afford a pullback at this point. I would love to buy dips. I would love for this market to crack and puke from a very selfish point of view, very, very low. So long term, I can buy some more ETFs because I'm not chasing it up here, that's for sure. I don't know if any of you saw, there's two ways of thinking right now. I don't know if any of you follow the short bear, but he posted yesterday that more short positions have been opened on the market this week by hedge funds than ever before, ever in the history of the market. So that's, you read that either one of two ways. They're looking for a short rotation, or that's the hedge and they're so exposed net long it's insane for a big pump. Time will tell. All right, ES reclaiming previous day low, trading back up towards VWAP right now. SPY doing the same thing. QQQ already through it. Potential squeeze now. I wouldn't be looking for shorts at this point. All right, so we're squeezing above key levels. H1's repricing through its SNR. Shorts are off the table at this point as far as I'm concerned. I'm not taking this long either, so just sat and waiting. They protected that 5-day moving average very well there. I think this is going to be a bit like yesterday. It's going to chop a lot of people up. It'll be a 149-point range this morning. That's it. 6 minutes left until you get your initial balance. Looks squeezy at this point, the NQ. and see if how ES reacts into VWAP here. I think it looks like it's trapped. I mean, remember the main objective was previous day low, which ES achieved. So I would say all pullbacks that hold on ES into 70 now open up the availability to go back towards high of day. And I'd say if it builds out liquidity at 91 to 95, it builds that inverse right shoulder for a breakout opportunity. Look at the Q. So this is what I was saying. As soon as we get above here, all shorts are off the table. It never got that breakdown. It tried over and over again. It had the chance to do this move here, failed to do it, and now we squeeze. You must respect that, and this is your trigger for a squeeze higher at this point. And if we complete this, we do that. All right, and I know you're like, well, you've changed your tune. Well, the market's changed its tune. So I have to respect it. In a range rotational market, the rotation this morning was profit taking down. Okay, and this failed to break the low. When we failed to break a low with divergence versus ES, which took out this level here. Once we trigger this, longs, and you're looking for this move here. And if we build liquidity here, you're probably looking for a move higher, but I would be respecting this up here. But there's lots of stops up here now for it to aim for. If it's trapped enough, it can do it. ES so far not through its VWAP though. So I'll be looking for pullbacks to hold these sort of levels here to go higher. Failing back into that, then I'll be thinking about lower again. And I know you're like, you're flip-flopping, but we're in range. We're in range. So we have to flip-flop. We have to play the momentum in front of us. Remember, the pro trend, like I said, is up. Any shorts this morning are counter trend, looking for the pullback. That's it. We're still underneath the New York Open as well. So we've just traded to previous day high here on the NQ. ES is lagging massively. NQ's green on the day, ES is red on the day. Market trying to find a bid. If pullbacks hold into sort of VWAP and just below here, there's a chance for this market to get going. You will need ES, like I just said. ES has got to hold 970. And really, you want it to just hold 973, its previous day low, and then get acceptance above and over the VWAP. If it does that, it's got a shot higher. If it doesn't do that, if it drifts under there and we get that liquidity built out here again, then maybe you're right, Ken. If we do this move, I'm thinking about that. If we hold this, I'm thinking about that. All right, so it's always and if or, because that's what the market's telling you. Those are the two possibilities right now in this market. Oh. All right, 135 of you watching, 50 likes. Come on, folks. So flow zones providing a buy signal right here. So any pullback into there that holds as well can be a re-entry. So we had sell signal off the morning open. Buy signal here now at this point, squeezing higher. And remember, if you're buying here, you're buying very high. Ideally, the market offers a pullback before going higher. But manage your own risk. Shorts definitely caught at these lows right now. Range rotational market. So even if you're going to take longs, you're going to need to respect these levels and sell into these pushes, because it's already shown you sellers in the market up here. You have to respect them. They sold here and they sold here. So if you took that break long here, you must be selling some. There's your New York Open, previous day high, opening range high, runners for above. If we firm up above, you can think about another go. If you're not in it, you can wait for a pullback into here, something like this to go up. If it doesn't do that and it gets stuck and does this, you're thinking about a short rotation back down. Those are the setups which it's presenting right now. Yes, reclaiming VWAP here. Wait to see if this pullback holds those levels. The hardest thing right now is the divergence on the tape for me. It's the hardest thing right now. It's happened all day yesterday and today as well. It's the hardest thing, watching ES flutter around VWAP. The seller at 85 on the ES, bids down at 65 and 60 right now. And Q's just dead. Not that interesting liquidity wise on NQ right now. So here's the pullback. How deep does it go? Just bear in mind the ES. Just bear in mind that potential divergence on the ES. You need this pullback to be absorbed on that old RBS level, in and around here. This is your level where you will need this pullback to be absorbed and put in some bullish pattern to go higher. Failing to do so opens this up. Right into that same level. Lower time frame out, you've got everything stacked here. VWAP, lower time frame algo, flow zones, both sets, deep pullback and momentum, and point of control. I'd say underneath point of control, probably a little bit problematic. So wait for it to give you a sign. Wait for it to put in some bullish pattern down here. Do not just guess the lows. VIX finding a bid there on an RBS level as well. This is very, very tricky right now. Okay, ES needs to hold right here, right now. These are the 70s. If it does not hold that, this market will go lower. So this is it. This is its chance. And if it doesn't do it, this market will go lower. ES needs to hold these 70s. See what I mean about range rotation? Yeah, they totally could have. They absolutely could have done that. Absolutely could have done that, Ramus. If pops start to fail here and you start to go sideways, like we talked about, we've got this liquidity, we've got a head, we can build liquidity to go lower. But if they hold this where we broke out from, it can drive all the way back up. Remember, we're just in range rotation. It can be very, very tricky to trade range rotation. What I would say is the book, like, there's not that many participants that interested on the book right now this morning. Yes, holding that 70 so far. If pops start to fail here, you go lower. If they reclaim the highs and put in a higher high, then that's it. You're off to the races for upside for the day. Again, everything possible right now because we're in a range. When we're in a trending market, we don't talk like this. We have very clear directional moves. The other tough thing is that ES took previous day low. NQ did not take previous day low. So NQ left resting liquidity lower, just to make it doubly hard. My back's sore this morning. That was big volume down though, I would say. That volume speaking to me. If they protect VWAP here, I'd be very, very cautious if they protect VWAP here. And there's a chance for this to wash nasty. Yeah, I don't hate that, Ramus. Just manage your risk, right? Have your clear targets. Your targets right now, if you're short on NQ, should be for a move to 700s. and then 640s. If they start reclaiming VWAP, all right, and above it, I would not keep leaning short on it. VIX is looking very good here. 18s here on VIX. You want to see it just drive straight through 18s for you to have confidence to stay leaning short on this. Technically, this can still produce a higher low here. This is the risky thing here. You need this to fail and then this to happen. That looks great. There you go. Let's go, Ramos. You're going to get your move now. So partial here, please, Ramos, into these lows, and then see if you can get that move all the way down to previous day low. This has got very whipsaw. Book's completely cleared out here, folks. We must have news. Literally no one on the book. Like book just they just disappeared. So just be careful here if there's news coming. Is it the BlackRock news? I can't see anything else. CCTV, US should withdraw its measures against China. BlackRock says tariffs induced inflation likely to impact the US economy over the next 5 months. This just looks like whipsaw action to me. So as long as you got your partial there, you're okay. Liquidity starting to come back on the book now. Got very thin there for a moment. Not seeing anything else. That's all I'm seeing. Yeah, I think that was the news. US should withdraw its measures against China. I can see that on Financial Juice. I'm not seeing anything else. And upside we go then. They like that news then, do they? China trying to suggest that Trump should remove tariffs, basically. ES back to VWAP. So you can see the whipsaw continues. Both things possible here. Very, very nasty. Very, very nasty. Very much like yesterday. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. We thought it would do that because we failed to break out. We're staying inside yesterday's range and the previous day's range. So we're inside Wednesday's range, sort of just above Tuesday's range for now. Nice, Ken. Lovely work. So shows you can make money both ways. So Ramos was short here for a move down here, partial here for a runner, probably break even now. Ken was long down here, moves up, stops in the money, looking for a runner back towards high of day right now. And the squeeze is on, I would say. At this point here, the squeeze is on. The New York Open coming up here. And if we get through that blue line, then we're looking for opening range high and then pre-market highs up here. See money, take money environment today, folks. Until we get above or below key pivots on higher time frames, you are in a see money, take money environment. But I think the short opportunities. Yeah, that's what I was. Are you seeing the same thing as me, Miguel? Is it just the stuff on Financial Juice, the headlines from China? Mexico's president talks steel tariffs with US ambassador. China's President Xi tells Trump China implemented Geneva Agreement. US and China should reduce misunderstanding. So lots of noise now coming out between US and China. So anything that is a de-escalation between US and China will be positively impact the market, of course. That situation is costing individuals and companies an awful lot of money right now. The whipsaw continues. Still nothing here I like since this morning. They hold dips here, then continuation higher possible. If they fail here, this is your range right now. You're basically in a 100-point whipsaw. Push up, fail, push up, back into range. With high time frame bullish. Just remember that. High time frame bullish. You are getting headline news, which is moving the market right now. She's saying the two sides should enhance exchanges in diplomatic, economic, trade, military, and law enforcement. So it's fairly bullish news coming out right now, I'd say. And there's your move back to high of day. In this long now, looking for that break above the opening range now for a potential add. Stop in the money above the New York Open. So entered long for this break. Just trying to play some momentum upside here. If we get above here, I'm looking for previous day high. News coming out is fairly positive. Protecting my profits, of course. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. So most liquidity taken now. Now looking for a move to, what's that top move? 98. Basically 900. Xi and Trump to agree to start a new round of talks. All right, so positive news hitting the market here. All with China, just what we talked about. Positive news hit the market. Catalyst is what the market needed. You are looking now for this as a runner. I had to act quickly there. Sorry, folks. Took a breakout here. Looking for this now as my last runner. Failing here, I'll be out on the runner. But most of my liquidity taken. I'm going to move my stop up to 20. Just so I don't give back on that last little piece. So I had to wait for news and momentum to hit the market. ES rejecting its supply up there. NQ looking stronger asset. You'd want New York Open previous day high level to hold now. Basically, 812 to 804. You want that to hold. Failing to hold, that would be a problem. ES might trade back to VWAP here and see if it catches a bid. Decent amount of selling up there. Yeah, someone marketed out 345 lot on that last push up. Just under 850s. 900 still on the book. Is there anyone up above? 900, 940s on the book if we can get going today. Big if. ES going to need to hold this level right here. BDC and VWAP right here. Remember, we are seed money, tape money, environment. Yes, it is rejecting morning supply, morning open. So I'm just being cautious here. Still holding this one. Almost knocked me out on that last move. Missed me by, what, 2 ticks? Just on the runner into 820. So my stop's at 820. It hit 75 or something. Nice, Russell. It's just some momentum. We've got to play momentum when it's there. When it's not there, like you would have seen me today, just sit still, sit still, sit still. And once we get those breaks above key levels, we can replay. So if we hold now into 812 down to sort of 795, there's potential for a move higher. We are still in range. All right, I'm saying this for myself as much as you. We are still just within the initial balance. This is just like yesterday. We've poked above the IB, failed. This can be a rotation all the way back to view up. It can happen in one candle. I'm out here, folks. Stopped out on the runner here. This is still bullish technically. It can still hold, but I just didn't want to give too much back. Holding that New York open, that blue line, light blue line. All right, so I'd be looking for a continuation trade for a flag, which it's starting to do now. Up and above this, and then all the way up here possible. Previous week high taken very, very quickly there again. Really want ES to start joining in here. This looks so good now. This flag looks really good here, folks. You're looking to take out that pre-market high. That's what I'd be looking for at this moment in time. Can you take out that pre-market high? Boom, here it comes. Pre-market high is on the way. Pre-market high is on the way. Hold your runner, try and get into 900 here. There's a seller on the tape, 48 lot at 900. Then there's a 100 lot at 937. All right, so if you get through this first one, you got room for a 40-point swipe up to 937. Because I tell you what, between 900 and 937, no one is at home right now. So unless a market order comes in and slaps it, no one is at home up there. China, the US should avoid very small number of Taiwan independence separatists dragging China and US into dangerous situation and conflict. Okay, that doesn't sound quite so good. So China basically saying, hey, stay out of what we do with Taiwan, which I don't think is possible for any country in the world to do. You can't be taking Taiwan. So you see the key of that New York open, that blue line that dipped down. I probably should have been more patient for that. So it would have given me, where was I in from? I was in from there actually. So I could have just taken break even 20s. Oof. Could have had an extra 50 points there. That's a stinger. That is a stinger, Alex, that you left on the table. Watch your ATR here, folks. It's one thing we haven't talked about for a while, but your ATR is currently 50 points per 1 minute candle. All right, when it's spiking up, 50 points per 1 minute candle. It's also not just traps, it's also just news, just crazy news. And news just affecting this market today. You've seen it, like, remember pre-market, what was the swipe? This news here was, oh, China and Trump are going to talk. Well, I assume that they're talking every day right now, right? And then this news here was some of the results of the talk, which is quite funny, isn't it? This news here was the results of the talk, smaller than, hey, we're going to have a talk. But we're still in range like we talked about. Here's your initial balance. Failing to hold over IB can cause rotation back to VWAP. Failing under VWAP can cause rotation back to IB. Failing IB can cause auction down to previous day low. Reclaim of IB can go back to VWAP. Failing under here can go lower. Everything is possible because we're in range. Market taking a breather here again. ES back to VWAP, not breaking out of its highs. Relative weakness in the ES continues. So ES, the easier trader short side today. NQ probably the better trade alongside. I wouldn't say necessarily easy, but the better trade alongside. I'm just backed right off this market. I've made my money for the day. I'm looking at my P&L saying, why are you even attempting to get any more here? Just relax. ES trying to bid off its view up right now. So you got divergence across the board here. All right, with every single ticker that I'm looking at. Look at the QQQ and SPY. QQQ through initial balance, failing initial balance. SPY didn't get through initial balance, still trading inside. QQQ over VWAP, SPY, ES trading into VWAP. I've got to roll around on the floor for a minute here, folks. My back is seizing up. Give me a second. Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe Ramos. I mean, flow zones are starting to try and support this move. You're above previous day high. You're above New York Open, but you don't have confluence over on ES yet. And you also have another failed breakout above previous week high. So that's twice you've gone up there, but we've left that liquidity higher. It's just try not to be too biased. Try and remember you're inside of initial balance. So higher time frame does want to lift higher for sure. Totally agree. We're in a bullish high time frame trend, but technically we're inside the initial balance, so we can keep rotating. So all I'm saying, a bit like the other day when we talked, like try not to. It's fine to say you can see upside. I totally agree. Just try and like control your narrative in your own head of like, okay, when's a good place to enter? Where is my exit? Because maybe I'm just talking for myself, but if I get too convinced on one side, let's say I'm really, really, really bullish and we're in range rotation, what can happen is we start to rotate and chop around and I keep getting stuck bullish, 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 and it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. A bit like a few days ago. At the beginning of the day, we were stuck in a tiny little range and I got frustrated. And then that starts to come out in anger and stuff. So I just don't want you to go through those experiences. That's all it is. I would agree with you. There's upside for sure. Upside for sure is available, but as is a rotation all the way back down towards these lows. Because think about these lows down here. There's a lot resting there right now, and we never hit this guy here. We did on ES, so that is the only one thing I would say. This is definitely bullish, isn't it? I would not be surprised for a nasty move like that. I'm not saying it happens, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'd like to see this, and this should be your target here, and then above that is a runner. I'd like to see that. It makes sense to see that, but it would not surprise me if they go and clean everything out, because that's your initial balance and we're not holding a print over it. I'm just trying to like say to you what I say in my own head all the time. Like if it's not happening, I need to respect it. What I want, what I think can happen, isn't always what the market gives. That's what I say that in my head all the time. What I want, what I think can happen, isn't always what the market would give me. Yeah, 900, 937 still on the book. Sorry, I'm just like zooming out and in, trying to see where those participants are. Still on the book. ES 5995 6000. Those are your levels on ES. Through 6,000, there's a big seller up at 6,050, but same levels as yesterday, right? We've failed to get above 6,000 and hold a bid on the ES. It's got through there. It's just not been able to hold a bid. Every time we've poked through, we've failed. 6,000 is clearly a big level. If we can start creating some liquidity up towards it and getting acceptance over it, I think there's a bigger move on ES. I would agree. Thank you. Trying to get going here. It's trying to do that search that you're talking about. Back to IB, back to opening range, back to Globex here. Does it get acceptance up higher now and above previous week high? If we can get acceptance above previous week high, if ES can get acceptance back above 6,000, then on NQ, your target really should be 897.50, really 900. You're looking for a trade up to the top of this box, and through that, we're in sort of frothy all-time high territory. All of the mag now green, by the way, other than Tesla. Looking very good here, folks. You're looking good for your runners. Those of you who took that New York Open print, dips into flow zones, you're looking very, very good. You just want to see it base above 58s. Just call it 60s, only because that's previous week high. That's showing you acceptance of moving higher at that point. ES looks good now as well. There's 90s. You want a 10-point shove up and breakout on ES. VIX breaking down underneath previous day low. Everything's starting to set up here for good confluence here. As long as they keep absorbing versus New York Open, if they can base above initial balance, and if ES can actually do the same, then you might get a trend day. Wouldn't that be something? Nice to have a trend day. So far, tapping into previous week high, that red line. Again, still no acceptance above this. Every poke through, sold into. Same with pre-market. Poke through, sold into. This is your supply. This is where sellers are from pre-market. Liquidity up higher here. They want to drift this market up higher here. It feels like it just wants to do a big swipe. 880 now on the book. It feels like they just want to swipe up to 880 and then through it. That's what it feels like to me anyway. Where's that high? 79.25. 880. 880 and then 95 and 900. Yeah, they're looking for this squeeze now. ES looking really, really good here. Can you get it? Can you get the squeeze? As long as it bases above that initial balance, you look good. ES starting to participate here, 92s. You're looking basically for a 95 break on ES to get you up to those 6,000s. Those 6,000s have been massive the last few days. Just remember that. All of yesterday, we couldn't break through it. Just like this previous week high where we're at now. All of yesterday, we couldn't get up to it. Got up to it pre-market, failed. Got up to it this morning, failed. here again, third time revisiting. I would be risk off and runners only once you get through 900. I'll be taking partials. If you're in this long, take partials into 900, runners above that. If you're watching the VIX, you want to break down at that pre-market low, 1721. So we traded right up to 1820, failed. Big level, that level all the way back from the 29th of May. Here you go. You look good here. Just make sure you are protecting your profits as you trade up into towards 900. All right, make sure you're protecting your profits as you trade up towards 900. If you're trading the ES, protect your profits as you trade to 95 and then 6,000. Then your runners above that. Lots of reasons for this to go higher. Can they squeeze it? That's all you're asking right now. Is there enough market participants to come in here and smash this higher? Remember, we've been in a market which has not shown aggression at highs. It's loved absorbing on dips, but the last few sessions, there's been no market participants to break us out the market. Is that news enough this morning to give this market some more aggression? US to sell 76 billion 3-month bills, 29th of June, settles the 12th. 9th of June, sorry. There's some bill auction news coming here, just be careful. Still got 1,000 lot, sorry, 1,100 lot up at 900. He's still set up there. Yeah, still looking good here. High highs, high lows. Might build some internal range here back down to opening range before you try and make that. Yeah, 100 lot, sorry. Slip of the tongue. 100 lot, 895, 900, and then 100 lot up at 935. VIX starting to break down underneath that low now. VIX is starting to attempt to break down on a new low of day. If pullbacks start to be absorbed here, I think you will get a slingshot up here. If pullbacks on the ES and the NQ are absorbed here in towards flow zones, in towards Globex high, opening range high, initial balance high, lots of reasons there. They must absorb that level. Then I think you can get a slingshot back up towards the liquidity above. Again, it needs to hold those levels for you to have trend expansion. ES not above its initial balance yet, remember, folks. All right, so that's the other thing to remember. Still have divergence. The VIX just printed a new low of day. You have divergence. There are reasons for this market to want to move higher at the moment, given the news. MAG is all green other than Tesla, which is 4% down. But ES is not above its initial balance high. But if it goes here sideways long enough, you are going to build some liquidity, and it can go and raid those stops up at 6,000. And then the next level, if you're looking at ES, is 6,006.50 and then 6,016.50. But it's got to absorb here. If it lets shorts out here, it will be a problem because you will not build enough liquidity. We are still in a range rotation. So here's your move back to initial balance, opening range, Globex and flow zones. You need to hold these dips here in and around here for that move higher. Needs to hold in and around here for this move higher right now. And you're looking to target the top side of this box. That's your momentum. Failing under here, that's your initial balance play. Failed auction here, gets stuck, raids this, fails that. Probable move back to view up. In fact, one thing we haven't done today is a New York anchor. Hang on a second, folks. What's my opening print? Okay, same spot, don't need it. $9.35 just left the tape. Has he moved higher? Let's have a look. And he's just gone altogether. Right, 9.35 has left the tape. 9.75 has left the tape. So your big magnet's starting to leave other than 900. Oh. Yeah, still not through. Still looking good. Still holding, but still not through the initial balance. So anyone who plays the rules that I set, we're looking for IB to hold. Ideally, you want confluence. I know I'm just a man repeating myself, but it's important that you just understand the rules of engagement right now. We're bullish on NQ for potential expansion. We're not technically yet on ES. It can do it, but technically we're still beneath. We're still an inside day on ES. We're still beneath previous day high, and we're still inside the initial balance range. So technically on ES, we're not bullish for a trend. Technically on NQ, we are potentially bullish for a trend. Hopefully that makes sense. Hourly at 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it held trend really well. Here's our channel, which we're coming up to the top side of now. So dips underneath and just straight upside. This is why this S&R level was key. It had the chance to do this, the hourly, and it didn't. That's why that's the long trigger. Hopefully that makes sense to you who've done the course. This is a big S&R level here, and it just, all it does is reclaim and go. So short stuck, low of day, never get that breakdown. They get caught. We trade back to here. Shorts have the opportunity to come back in short. It triggers long, and we go upside. This is the final raid it wants. Above that, then we're thinking about daily levels, right? If we're going to go above that, we need to think about daily levels. Expansion above today's high, I would say room into 950 based on this daily imbalance here. 950 and above that Bollinger Band, which will start trading down. So basically 22,000, 22,100, right? 22,100 right now, 150. But by the end of the day, I'd say 100, 22, 100. And then really, that's all-time high. It's not that far away, is it? All right, so all this was a lot of noise. There's your fail breakdown. There's your fail breakout. There's an absorption. This is why we're trying to go higher. We talked about this on my Twitter. There's no reason for this to go lower right now. Anyone that follows me on X at Flowzone Trader, it's a pinned post at the top of the day. Here's your drift higher then. ES trying to get back up to the IB high. 900 on deck here, remember. You're looking to take a partial off into 900 and your runners above it. If it prints above 98, 25 and 900, there is a chance you get like a swipe up. I would instantly, on that runner, move my stop right up to 900. Right, so if we go on a big swipe up, I'd be instantly move my stop up. Oh, I've got you on the wrong chart. My apologies. There we go. Again, ES still not above the IB and previous day high. I'm done trading here for the day, folks. I'm just trying to support you lot and help you out. Still looks good. Just need ES to hurry up. This just sounds like yesterday, doesn't it? We need ES to hurry up and get through 95 and 6,000. It sounds exactly the same as yesterday. NQ looks great. Mag 7 looked great. Tesla trying to find a bit of a bid here. Let me just check that out. Tesla's back above VWAP here. I would say this pre-market pivot into 320.30 to 321 key on Tesla. If it gets through that, it can print up to 324.60s. If it breaks out of that, then it's going to go back into yesterday's range. That will really help this market move. All right, Tesla can get, it's got to go a long way, but if it can get up higher today and start filling in some of that gap, remember it's 12 points down at the moment, and it was way more than that at one point, almost 20 points, or it was 20 points down on the session. But it's back above VWAP. It looks good. Yes, with another attempt here. Explosive moves can come here, folks, on breakouts and failed breakouts. So I know this is slowed right down, but that 900 level is going to be massive. Absolutely massive. Once that news came out, this was tricky in here. To review today, we were short on the breakdown for this. This never broke the low. And you had divergence here with ES, which took previous day low. So once they triggered back above here, this becomes a long scenario. All right, and this dip back in, this is nasty. This is a Newsweek dip, but it held this low. We reclaim, we pull back in. There's your inverted head and shoulders. And now we're upside on a grind, knowing that shorts are trapped down here who didn't take profit. Okay, and the target is up here, knowing that shorts have a stop up there. Anyone who is short today, they have their stop up there. So the target is to try and cause max pain and get up to this guy. Now, once these shorts trigger their stops, two things happen. We go massive move up and we hold a bid and continue, or we go big move up and slam back down and come back down like this. But what I would not be doing is looking for a short against this. I think you are asking to get murdered because we are above initial balance. We're above previous day high. We're above previous week high. We're breaking out on a weekly chart right now. Let that like get into your head. On a weekly chart, we are breaking out. We are above the previous week high. All the time we're above a previous week high on a weekly chart, we can attack the next level and then the next level. If we trade back inside, we're still bullish, but if we trade back inside underneath previous week high, we can afford a rotation back down, maybe tomorrow. But at the moment, we're upside on a weekly chart. We're breaking out. On the higher time frames, we are breaking out. That's why I plot daily and weekly levels on my lower time frame chart, so I can remember what the levels are. Otherwise, I have to keep flicking between. This red line here is a weekly high. This red line here is a daily high. All right, IB coming up here. IB check here on the ES and the spiders. Previous day high check here on the ES and the spiders. You look good. Continuation higher looks very, very good here. Make sure you are taking some profit into and in front of 900, right? You have 100 lot up here looking to get filled. Right, he's here looking to get filled. Make sure you are taking some profit into this level. There goes ES, now through previous day high and initial balance high. If all pullbacks hold here, you should get a swipe. There is the swipe of liquidity. Take some profit here, move your stop up, hold a runner now. All right, you're above. We're breaking out of weekly. We're breaking out of pre-market highs. That can go because we've broken out through it. Your runners now are for the next leg up. Looks fantastic. But you should have paid yourself in this move, folks. Tyson nailed it. Was in at 64, out and done. Hey, nice work. Low-hanging fruit taken, right? Low-hanging fruit taken. We're happy. You achieved your goal. There's the low-hanging fruit. Taken, gone. Beautiful work. You're in from 64s. Very nice. Inverse head and shoulder microstructure. Boom, 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 boom. What a beautiful trade. Well done, buddy. And just hold runners now, folks. Hold runners. This can start getting squeezy like we talked about. Once we take those stops out at 900, we're breaking out on a weekly. We have the chance to come and print up to, what did we just say? 9. Try to remember what I said on the daily now. Where is that liquidity? Up to here, 50s. We've got a chance to get up here. 2250. So I'd be psychological number into 22,000 and then 2250s. Let's just check a 4 hour on this chart here. All right, here's your gap. So yeah, 950s. Next up, 950s, 2250, 22,190. 950s, first stop. 950, 940s, 950s, first stop for your runner. 2250s, and then room up to 22,200. That's what I'd be looking at. See, I've got it plotted here anyway. And what I would say is this line up here, this is your old megaphone. Let's do that as blue so we can see it a bit better. That's your old megaphone pattern on the daily. All right, so just be aware of that. Huge day, 1,280. High five. Anyone else catch up with Tyson? Long and strong, looking for the squeeze. Looking for continuation. It's so much easier once we set something up, isn't it? Once there's a clear pivot above the initial balance, above previous day high, above previous week high, with a clear target. Squeeze up, runners for expansion now. Right? We were bearish this morning, but it didn't break down and you got divergence and we flipped bullish. Like I said, in ranges, you have to be willing to change thesis. Chris Thorne, W, Ramos, got it good. Hey, nice work, team. ES still has room here, all right? It's getting acceptance over 6,000. So if you're trading ES as opposed to NQ, let's see if you can get to 6,000 and 650, and then you're looking for that 6,000 and 1650. Coop, that's amazing. Nick got it, Steve C got it, Coop got it, Lee Kim got it, Jeff Stewart got it. It's all right. It's nice to be right. I understand people want the praise, but you know, we're not I know I go through the Mag 7 when I'm here in the morning, but it's more to give you an understanding of when they're moving in unison rather than me trading them. Although I do think I could probably trade them very well at this point. I look at them every day. I understand how they move. The only one which I think is a bit of a bitch to trade is Tesla. It's probably the one that provides the most opportunities, but I think that Tesla's like the NQ of the mag. Minutes got it as well. Lovely work, team. Lovely work. So you should be nicely in profit. Move your stop up. You should have taken your partials. And you should just be holding runners now for expansion. Nothing else to do other than hold those runners for the expansion. And like I said on my Twitter, I think we're going for all-time highs. It makes sense for us to go to all-time highs at this point. 605, 610 on the book for ES, folks. If you're trading ES, 605, you've got 100 lot. 610, just under 200 lot up there. Can we create a trading view indicator out of your brain? Well, that's pretty much this, right, Peter? That's pretty much what this is. Right, and then it's just understanding structure, which I teach you. But that's exactly what this is. I know this might look really messy. People are like, oh, well, I can't cope with all these lines. The horizontal lines are just key levels of liquidity, all right? And you can take all of these off. You can remove everything on here all the time. I even remove previous day opens. I don't even look at those anymore. What I'm really interested in is the closes and the highs. Garber, around 600 on 10 cons. I sold one along the way on the move up and one left to run. Lovely work. That's it. It's amazing how much additional confluence I can get out of my trades just from my speech. Hey, that's great. That's why I'm here. Can you do that also in NT8 and remove the lines? Yeah, you can remove everything on NT8, dude. Yeah, I can show you. NT8 for me looks so much cleaner. But NT8, all you do is change this to transparent. All right, so you just, where's transparent? Right here. Hopefully you can see that. You just change it to transparent. That's all you got to do. That remove any line. So if there's lines that you don't want, just remove it. But I mean, the NT8 indicator is just far superior. It's just way cleaner. It looks way better. I don't know why, but it does. It's way, way better. Way more better. Jay Nash, looks like you missed everything. I don't know. You might still get a continuation. I wouldn't say everything. I would just be aware now if you're looking for a trade. But let's do this bigger as well. Got to do this blue and thicker. Maybe that one. All right. So just be aware of this as we trade up to it. All right. We rejected this multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We might want to trade all the way up to it again. It's still an expanding range right now. What I am going to do is delete this channel because we've broken out of it and I don't really want to see us revisit it. And if we do, I'm not really interested. So just continuation upside here. Remember, at no point today, this is one of the key things to understand. At no point today, once we took that, was I saying that we should be short. We were short here this morning for that drift down. We had divergence down here. This was the trigger point. This was dirty because it was in news, but this was the trigger point. Once we took that, the market's then going upside because this is shorts who are stuck, who don't get that breakdown that they're looking for. That's why it's important to be flexible. The other thing to note here, there is your initial balance. Low, there is VWAP, there is IB high, all right? This is a rotation. This now can become a pro trend again. And the higher time frame, as we talked about, is trying to go up. That's why at the very beginning I said, if we're short today, it's see money, take money, counter trend. If we're in initial balance, it's see money, take money. If we're out of initial balance, it's hold a runner. You usually do market trades rather than limits. No, definitely not, Adam. Even if I'm trying to market in, if I'm buying, I'm hitting the bid. I'm not hitting the ask when I'm buying, especially in a fast moving market. I do not like hitting market. The only time I will use a market, there's only 2 times. If the market is moving away from my entry aggressively and I'm like, there's no way it's coming back to visit me and I need to get in now, otherwise it's gone, I'll hit a market. It's very, very, very rare that I'll do that. The other time is on a sell. So let's say I'm long and I've got my sell limit at a level of liquidity and we keep getting up and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. Sometimes I'll just take a market out. I'll just be like, we're not going to hit it. I'll take a market out. Normally what I do though is I'll just move my stop so I don't give it room to give me a swipe, and I either stop out in the money or I take that limit. But I try not to use markets, especially in fast moving markets, because imagine you took a market long here at 76. There's a good chance you got filled at 87. So you've given 10 points basically effectively in slippage. Right? So I try not to use market orders. I'd rather use a bid or a stop bid or a stop ask, whatever you want to call it. Yep, so I'd be one eye on ES. If it pulls back, you want ES to hold. Seems like you joining trade quickly, so I wonder how you set your stop so fast. I use an ATM strategy. So on Ninja, I use bracket orders. I never enter a trade without a bracket order on. Never, ever, ever. For that exact reason. Because imagine I enter a trade. Let's say I'm long on a trade. Let's try and find an example. Let's say the other way around. Let's say, trying to think of a good one. Let's say for some reason I was short here, right? For some reason I wanted to go short here, right? And I just entered a market in short here without having an ATM strategy. The moment I put that trade on, I'm 40, 50 points out of money. Yeah, so I won't do that. I have an ATM strategy, so I put that on. My stop goes in instantly. My take profit goes in instantly. Normally what I do then is I move my stops to where I want them afterwards. But I always have an ATM strategy on with a worst case scenario in case I get caught in news for that exact reason. You look good for another continuation leg up here. 1990, 1920 break here. 1930 is on the book. Through 1930, I'm just going to have a little dance around and see what's around here for you. 1937, 1950, 1962, 22,000. Let's have a look at ES. ES still looking for that 200 lot up at 610. What does your ATM look like? I'm always fiddling with finding the right follow distance. I don't do a trail. I manually trail. Mine, but I think it's set to like 30 or 40 points instantly. So my stop's instantly at 30, 40 points. If I need to do more than 30, 40 points, then I'm sizing down anyway. But really, I like risking as little as possible. I like cheap trades where possible, and I like to move my stops in once we get break of structures. So like Even, for example, if I was long this breakout here with my stop here, the moment we start moving upside, I'm moving my stop up because we've got no reason on an engulfing move like that to come and revisit here. I want it to protect this, which is what happens, and then you get upside continuation. Looks really good now. You are getting a trend day develop. Why are we getting a trend day? Because we're above key levels. Previous day high, initial balance, opening range, Globex, previous week. This is a breakout on a weekly chart. What a powerful breakout. Not on a 1 minute chart, not on a 2 minute chart, not on a 3 minute chart. This is a breakout on a weekly chart right now. A failed breakout on the weekly chart will mean this week closes back beneath this level. All right, understand the difference. Doesn't it hurt your trailing drawdown moving to break even? I don't have trailing drawdown to contend with, so no. I've got buffers on all of mine. But yes, it would if you're oversized and you let it come down. I don't know if you were on stream yesterday. We're talking to Yulimar about that. About if you're trading props or anything with a trail and drawdown, you want to be taking profits at the highs, which means you need to be doing base hits. You're aiming for key level, take your money, get out. If say you're trading 4 or 5 micros, it's fine. Take 3 off at that level, leave 1 on. You can trail then. One micro is not going to do a lot of damage if you're trading with 1 micro. The problem is when people oversize, they leave like 5, 6, 7, 8 micros on, 1, 2, 3 minis on. It comes back down, break even. Yeah, you're in big trouble at that point. So I talk about taking your time with things like Apex, building the buffer, using small size. Small size will stop you having anxiety. It will allow you to stay in the trade. Or do not trade with Apex. Go and trade with Tradeify. Go and use a growth funded account, something like that. So you don't have to worry about the trailing drawdown. So probably trading back towards 905, 900, 890s here. It's where the bids are just sat on the book. ES might want to come and back test its previous day high and initial balance high. It hasn't taken its pre-market high out yet on ES, so it will need to hold a bid down there in order to move higher. Remember, failing to hold a bid on previous day high, on previous week high, on initial balance high will allow the possibility of a failed auction back to VWAP. So just remember that. Tradeify is the only one without a drawdown. Thought it's in all of those props. Without a trail drawdown, I mean, you can get one with Apex, but it will cost you a lot of money and it's crap. Who offers it? Tradeify offer it. Top Step offer it. TPT don't. They do it in evaluation, but not in when you go live. Are the lots you're mentioning at the 930s, 950 sellers? Yeah, every time they're above and they're on the book, they're a sell order. Is Luna wearing a suit? No, she's wearing my jacket. That was when we first got her. Oh, that's when we first got her, and we went to Lake Arrowhead, and it was really cold, so I put her in my coat. She looked something out of a Snoop Dogg cover. It was cool. I went there with Kyle. Get end of day only. Yeah, exactly. End of day trailing drawdown. Easiest stuff to pass. Easiest stuff to manage. Indiana Jones, yeah. Oh, unfortunately, she's got to go in for surgery in July 8th. And unfortunately, to have ACL reconstruction. All right, you are waiting here. You are holding your runners, or you're waiting for a pullback back into potential demand. What a beautiful trade. What a beautiful trade. I just think all that liquidity it created yesterday was all for this move. All that liquidity it created this morning was all for this move. We do all this choppy work to create liquidity for the real move. And we finally got it. Expansion. Do not be surprised if there's profit taking at some point in the next 3 or 4 sessions. Especially if we get up above those old all-time highs. Let's ride the runners to the top of the daily bowls. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Coop? It would be nice. And it's not out the question, bud. It's not out the question. It'd be pretty cool. We'd have to get through these 950s first, but if we got through that, there's a good chance. There's a good chance if we got through that. Put this line on here before I forget. There we go. It's not out of the question, man. Yeah, look at that measured move. It's literally perfect to the all-time high. Perfect to the all-time high, that measured move out of this consolidation. And 161 is pretty much perfect to the bowl. So, I mean, it'd be nice to be a swing trader, wouldn't it? And just to eat these dips with all of them. I'm still... did you get rid of your calls, Coop? I know you were entering calls down here when we were looking long. I've been waiting for this to come for, well, a month now, and it hasn't come. This day here, I was like, yes, we're going to get that move, and I can gobble this up for this. But we just got a quasi instead. Just be a little cautious here. No entering new longs up here, by the way, folks. Do not enter new longs up here. You are open for this move down before it gets absorbed again. So you are runners only. Remember, you are long from like here and here, here, here even. You are not entering long up here. You will need this to pull back before you think about anything else. And remember, the main damage has been done. Objective today was this level here. ES has still got room. If you're trading ES, it's still got room. All right, you're looking for that move to 616s. Look at the difference. ES sweeping the lows today before blasting higher. and it hasn't taken out this liquidity here. So I would still stay long, thinking ES can get up into this level. NQ never got to the lows. All right, previous day low, this green line never got there. Blasting higher, relative strength, because it's already taken out pre-market highs. So you can see NQ up 0.69% on the day. ES only up 0.37% on the day. No worries, Ramus. Good work today, my friend. Again, Coupio got rid of them. Definitely should have held longer. It's hard, isn't it? The thing is, it's knowing that the Greeks are not in your favor. But you probably picked the bottom. There's someone in chat who's a very good friend of mine. I don't know if he's here today. And I was helping him move his money to be tax efficient. And I told him, let's wait. Let's just wait. I think there's a buying opportunity in the market for you. No joke. No joke. We bought 7. We bought this long term with that. He's long commons in here in ETFs. Absolutely nailed it. Only because he had to get in that day. It was the last day that he could get the transaction through and get it to his accountant in time. But what a trade. He's going to sit on that for life now. I'll be invoicing every year some commission. I know it wasn't like we knew the dip was there. Like, I mean, we talked about it in Discord, right? But like, it was more. It worked out because it was like the last day he could do it before he had to send to his accountant, so he had to action it that day. So it just happened that it didn't trade lower. We were prepared for it to trade much lower, but just knew long term it would be fine. I'm going to move away from the mic so it's not too loud while I eat. Just over 15 minutes left. Just keep holding your runners here. Move your stop up. Do not let this come back all the way to previous day high and initial balance, all right? Because you will be giving back 80 points if it does that. As long as it holds the 900s, you're good. Do not let it come all the way back down with your money. We're above initial balance. We're in flow zones. Everything's bullish. Zero reason to short this market. NQ still looking for a move up into 28. So that's where the liquidity is sat. ES looking for a move to 608 and 609, basically. NQ's going for it. Strong market orders coming in here. Here you go. Here's your 28s. Beautiful. That's what you want. Now looking for a continuation. ES should join here. Now it's a strong market order to come and clean out 28 there. They piled in on that move. Buyer here at 20s. Selling through them. Next buy is not until 10s and then 900 evens. Sellers coming in here again. So some profit taking here, folks. They cleared out that 28 and then started selling. Might revisit 900 now. A big push up, sold into. Cleared the book. 907.50, 900, 97.50, all on the tape. They're just starting to market order this down now. So big profit taking there. ES coming back to revisit initial balance and previous day high. Miguel saying Trump and Mertz meeting about to begin as well. And as like I said, do not buy the highs. Take profits as we push higher. Be right back. Here comes the sale to wash all the balls out. The date. Almost lunchtime here, folks. Almost time for me to get off. So they might trap some balls up there. And they might need a wash. Remember, there's no structure. This is very, very thin. On the right chart, this is a thin move up. This is very, very likely. And then from here, if they want to do this, they can go higher. All right, we talked about this move the last few days. We did the same thing yesterday. All right, if they fail under here, this will be considered a failed auction, and this rotation back to here is possible. And so those are your two plays going into this afternoon. I would stay bullish until it proves otherwise. Do not buy the highs. You need ideally a two-leg pullback, something like this, where you can have nice tight risk. And then here, if they do this, you build liquidity to go higher. All right. If they're going to keep doing shallow ones, then you know shorts are trap. I definitely wouldn't be buying up here right now. Would not be buying up there. Oh, I've just done the time wrong. Misread that. 10 minutes left. I thought there's 2 minutes left. Can't read today. Thank you, Raphael. So Trump coming to TV soon. So expect the unexpected. It's Put it that way. Expect the unexpected. VIX just basing out near the low day right now. Really nice day. Yes, trying to build a flag here versus previous day high and IB to go higher. Again, I would not be entering new money longs on NQ here. Even if it goes, I think your risk reward parameters are completely skewed right now if you're looking at that. But ES has got the ability to trade up, so it needs to come and break 07s to trade up again. I would not be a new money long up here. Your risk reward parameters are terrible at this point. Oh, my back is going to break soon, honestly. Yeah, much better now that we're above those levels. So much better. And NQ, finally NQ the better trader. Oh my gosh. Finally NQ with some relative strength when we're trying to buy. It's nice, isn't it? I actually made money on probably one of the harder trades today. I'm looking at this thinking, could I, should I? But just, I try and avoid the greed. I'm actually really I'm going through my notes. I'm actually pretty proud of myself because where are we at? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Tuesday, full tilt day for me. Not full tilt day as in I took some like big losses, nothing like that. I was green, but the tilt build. It built in me after 13 or 14 days of an inability to break out of a range. And when I was ready for the longs for the breakout, it didn't give it to me when I wanted. That is me being impatient, arrogant, just every bad word you can think under the sun. Not a good trader on Tuesday. Showed the worst version of myself, and it was all live on air, so it was aired for you to see. Wednesday, yesterday, was a recovery day for me. It was very much like just be calm. I expected, after missing Tuesday, expected a choppy day. Made some money yesterday, not great money, but I was calm, and that was more important. Today, coming to the market, I expected more range rotation, and then ideally we get this move. Now, I got the short in the morning. It printed more than I thought it would print. I added into a winner. It went well. Done. Backing off, locking in my money for the week. I'm also very aware I go on holiday next week. So really, I've got Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think I am here in the morning. So I've got 4 more trading sessions. And I would like to take some pretty decent payouts. So I've also got that in my head. I do not want to get in my head of like, let's have a mega 4 sessions and take loads of money out the market before you go on holiday. That will ruin me. So that's probably another reason why I backed off today and just thought, process. I'm no different to what I teach all of you lot. I'm the same. I have to talk. I have to do self-talk in my head all the time. Remind myself what I'm trying to achieve, not go full send. Very easy to go full send. Best EMA to use day trading. What time frame? I would say the 21. But what time frame? What time frame? What instrument are you trading? What time frame are you trading? 21 EMA for me on every single chart. That's a clutch EMA. Above the 21 EMA hourly, bullish. Above it 4 hour, bullish. Above it daily, probably bullish unless you're extended. Above it lower time frame, bullish. I have got a free lesson on YouTube on how to use multiple time frame EMAs on one channel. If you're not gonna do the course and learn from me, I still give you content. Let me find it for you. terrible link. How can I post this? There you go, John. Watch that video there. That should help you a lot. Right, understanding multiple timeframes on one chart can save you a lot of headache. Yeah, John, if you want to learn more about how I use EMAs, daily SMAs, key levels to trade, you can always do the course. Course is available right here, flowzonetrader.com. 20-hour on-demand course, $649. With that, you get the indicators that you see me using on the screens. And then you also get free access for life to the Discord. Take care, Christy. Nice work today. Nice work. Continuation higher here looks good. ES still absorbing above the previous day high and initial balance high right now. No pressure to do it. It's just if you're interested. I don't recognize your name, so maybe you're new turning up here. So ES looking good. Continuation higher looks good. We're just breaking out, taking that liquidity. So ES now breaking out above those 07s that we talked about. It needs to hold a bid above it. Remember, not just swipe. It needs to hold a bid above it into 1650s. Is it too late to enter bullish? On NQ, yes. Yeah, you're very high risk buy. Even though there's a good chance we drift higher, your buying opportunities this morning were on the pivots above here, here, and here. Right? Everyone in stream has been long in these areas here. You are now long. If you're going to get long up here, you are long at high of day, high of week, high of quarter, near all-time high. Does that sound like a good buying opportunity? That is very high risk. Even if we're going to go higher, your risk is a failed breakout and a return into a demand structure down here, which will cost you 100 points, which on one NQ contract will cost you $2,000. So I would not be a buyer up at these levels. I've been using a chart based on that YouTube alongside the flow zones for several weeks. 21 EMA on multiple timeframes is really reliable and easy to see at glance. Exactly, Capped. In fact, it's so good. I've put it back on my hourly time frame recently to just be like, hang on, let's just give me like a bias of where these hourly traders are trading at, and it's just easy, isn't it? We trade under, bearish, 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 rejection, rejection. We reclaim it, bullish, dips in, bullish, dips in, bullish, dips in, bullish. It's just great reference. It's just an easy reference point. Totally agree. Gone back to exactly how I used to really trade the small caps. Same kind of thing. On small caps, I used to run a 200 and a 1000 EMA on my 1 minute chart. And those were always my TP targets. When I was fading an extended move, I'd be taking covers into the 200 EMA and the 1000 EMA. Why the 1000 EMA? Because it was the 5 minute 200 EMA. So that's how I used to trade it. Like over on small caps, it's the same kind of thesis, multiple time frames, this time using 21. All right, we're pretty much wrapping up here, folks. Job done. Just shy after costs of $10,000 for me on the day. I will take it. I will take it. Very happy with that. All green week so far. Even with my frustrations, it's been a fairly solid week for me. And we go again tomorrow. Same thing. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. It's all we do. Low-hanging fruits. Can we get a trade to a low-hanging fruit? Once we get the trade to the low-hanging fruit, we're runners only. In the afternoon session, you can afford now to wait for a pullback into a key level to see if it's going to get absorbed. If there's no absorption at the key level, if you get divergence where NQ has broken out above previous week highs and taken all the liquidity of previous or pre-market highs and ES doesn't do it, If you get divergence there, there will be a chance for a counter trend short if we start breaking back beneath the key levels. But please do not guess tops. Let this rotate. If you're absolutely adamant on taking a short today, you will need to let it rotate. But just as a last thing to say, if you are going to take a short today, you need to understand you are betting against quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, 4-hour, and hourly traders. So you better make sure at least one of those starts to come in your direction, because if not, you are betting against the market, which is breaking out on every single time frame. The only time frame we have not broken out on yet is the yearly chart. Let that sink in. The only time frame we haven't broken out on yet is the yearly chart. Everything else, we're upside. All right, so please be careful. Please, please, please. Just read these before I go. No worries, Tim V. Capped. Even on the 1 minute chart, when it hooks a little red, you're probably going down short term. It helps me time entries. Yeah, it's just really good. I mean, really, these crosses on the flow zones, the same kind of thing. It's set there a little bit later because I like a little bit more confidence, but it's pretty much the same thing. You've done the course, you know what the details are. Yeah, have a nice day, everyone. And last little reminder, otherwise he'll tell me off for not doing it. You've got about 10 days left for this sale right here. Okay, 33% off all accounts over at Traderify right now. So growth accounts, no trailing drawdown, right? No intraday drawdown for those. Advanced accounts, you have an intraday drawdown or straight to funded. If you're a proven trader already, you can go straight to funded. I would not advise doing the straight to funded unless you have a proven track record. You're just throwing money at the market. Make sure you know how to trade. And I will be back, all right, tomorrow. I'll pop in the room shortly for everyone else. Until tomorrow morning, please trade safe for everyone. Look after yourselves and use hard stops. Peace and love. Take care.